Welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I feature Olympians, CEOs, disruptors, authors, professional athletes, and the best of the best, where they share their stories of resilience with my lens on leadership and culture. Let's get started. Greetings and welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I am so excited to bring my guest to you today. The beautiful Priscilla Loomis stands at the intersection of athleticism, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. As a track and field Olympian, she has etched her legacy as a three-time Hall of Fame inductee, two-time Female Athlete of the Year recipient, national record holder, national champion, and world-class medalist. Priscilla's success extends beyond athletics. She runs 3 thriving businesses and has forged partnerships with global entities like Airbnb and PUMA. Her story has graced the pages of prestigious publications such as New York Times, CNN, BBC, ESPN, National Geographic, and Disney+. Priscilla is also currently a PR and digital marketing associate at Philly PR Girl, one of the top firms in Philadelphia. A seasoned public figure with a decade of experience on camera, in athletics, and public speaking, Priscilla is more than achievement. She is a failure and a fighter, something we are going to talk about, a leader and an ally. Her mission revolves around promoting positive energy, gratitude, love of self, and being the rising tide that lifts all ships. Welcome to the show, my friend. I am so happy you're here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. Like, what an intro. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, I did all of those things. How am I not exhausted? But no, thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here and for having me on the show. I am super blessed.
Well, it is our pleasure. And so I start the show the same way every time. And I ask, and I already know the answer to this, but would you please share your story?
Oh, yes, of course. I will try to be as brief and quick and engaging as possible.
It's yours.
There's a lot. There's a whole lot of... So I'm Priscilla Frederick Loomis. I come from a single parent household. My mother's from Dominican Republic. And so already with that start, my journey had one labeled of failure and not enough and too much and all the things, right? And so I went to private school all my life, and the one thing I wanted to do was be Beyonce. I wanted to be Beyonce. I wanted to be an entertainer. It was one of my life's biggest goals. But, life has different plans for you. So I went out and I wanted to make sure that I was a true resilient warrior and an example of God's love and compassion. And especially just wanted to be a positive example for my mother's hard work and resilience. And so in doing so, I went on to St. John's University, and I was able to, become a Big East champion, go to a D1 university on a full ride and compete at the 2012 Olympic trials, came in 7th, and I was supposed to get last. And the U.S. really didn't see very much value in me. And so I didn't let that stop me because their opinion is none of my business. And in 2014, I became a professional track and field athlete representing the country of Antigua and Barbuda. In 2016, I became an Olympian. And in 2020, I became a nonprofit founder. And in 2022, I opened up Priscilla Loomis LLC. And we are celebrating our anniversary on May 12th, which I am super grateful and humbled for. And now I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a badass. I'm an Olympian. I'm a warrior. I'm a failure. I'm a fighter. And I'm an example of what hard work, dedication, resilience, courage, and truly showing up for yourself every single second of every day is. And I love that. And I love my journey. I love my scars. I love what I've learned. And now I'm on this road as a PR and digital marketing associate, learning the business and being able to open doors for other women, especially women of color, and just taking on life, fearlessly and becoming an unstoppable being.
Well, you're already
literally,
girl, you're already an unstoppable being. And you didn't share the part that you were modeling, you were doing you didn't just become a track and field star. You did a bunch of stuff before that.
Yeah. So when I started out in the journey, My mom being a single mother, she wanted me to get into acting, and she knew my dream and she knew my calling. So I went into modeling and acting, and I went into pageants, right? And I went on the auditions and I did all that. And from being told, I photographed fat and I have a fat face, my mom was like, nope, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Right. That's not how we're going to start this journey. To wanting to be a Nickelodeon kid and to wanting to be a Disney kid and to wanting that so bad. But then you realize, and those words that they said about me, they never really stuck. So then I got into, doing on stage and doing theater in high school and wanting to do that and going on auditions again in college and, dealing with, sexism and racism, and then becoming a pro athlete and dealing with sexism and racism and colorism and, people telling me, you're too fat to high jump. If you lost a few pounds, you would do better. And if you were a little bit lighter of skin, you'd get more contracts and you'd get more deals. Moving on to opening Priscilla Loomis LLC, I would go and ask people for guidance, right? Like, I need these mentors. And they were like, you're not a big enough name. You didn't win an Olympic medal. You're not that person. You're not there yet, but you will. And then they would just compare me to all these other slew of people. And through it all, I don't know why, and maybe I'm very grateful for my mother, I couldn't accept it.
Yeah.
I can't accept other people's negativity. If you're coming to me and saying you are not a big enough name yet, but here are the 3 steps that you can take to do that, fine. Thank you. You helped me on my way. You allowed me to really feel grounded and move upward, but it never was that. It was always, you're not enough. You're not good enough. You're fat. You're, like all these things. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I am me.
Yeah.
And this is who I am. And
that describes the fighter in you, which
I
love, but I want to talk about the failure, because failure is such an important part of leadership. And when I love to talk about leadership and culture. And for me, failure is as important as success, if not more so, because you learn from failure. But when you're a leader, giving space for failure or giving yourself space for failure is something we don't talk about a lot. And it's something a lot of people, they run from. They really think it's a bad thing. So share your thoughts on failure, because I want to hear your perspective.
I love failure. If you are not being challenged, you're not changing. You're not growing. You're not evolving. You're not becoming your best self. We start failure from a very early age, right? Crawling to walking, many failures, right? So from this point of view of, I tried to act, I tried to model, I tried to be on Broadway, to applying for colleges and not getting in, to wanting a relationships and failing.
Of course.
I kept failing forward. You don't realize it in the moment. And you think, why is this happening to me? What is going on? But as you continue to fail, you have a choice to make. And that's the most important part of the failure aspect. It's the choice that you're going to make. When you fail, are you saying, why is this happening to me? This sucks. I can't take it. I give up. This is ridiculous. I'm blaming everybody else. Or are you choosing to say, let me take a step back. Let me look at this failure from a whole perspective. Why truly did I fail? Did I put in enough work? Or was it this? Could I change something? Like, you can only control what you can control, right? So could I have changed something? Is it my time to grow? Am I in a too small of a pot? Do I need to grow? Maybe it's failing because the pot broke, because you need to be in a bigger area to grow, right? Those are 2 choices that you have to make. And that's why I love failure, because within that is so much growth and so much self-discovery. And now when I was younger, I never realized it, but now, even this morning, I lost my keys. No idea where they are, not a clue. But I'm like, okay, what is this teaching me? Do I get upset about it? Do I freak out? Am I going to get mad at my husband? No. All right. Control what you can control. We will look for the keys later. You know what? It's time for me to make keys anyway. Let me go get some extra set of keys. Let me take a step back. Like, that is how you fail. And now I know with everything, with relationships, with business, with anything that I'm doing, I'm failing. I'm failing forward. And I love that. I love it because I'm learning and I'm continuously growing, and you can see it. I am so lighthearted, and I am so in like, it's so infatuated with life because I know what it really means, right? And so people don't realize that every time that you go as an Olympic athlete, every time you go to the track, every time you go to the gym, you're failing. Yes. I ended every single meet on a failure. The bar always came down because I was attempting something greater that I had never accomplished before.
Well, you have such a zest for life, and
I do. As I'm having my rosé wine.
I know, I love it. The way that you choose resilience as the path forward, and the way that you want to be seen and show up for others is so important. And I think you're spot on with the concept of you can only control what you can control. And most of the time, that's how you respond to a certain situation. Yes. And all of those moments that didn't work out prepared you for who you are now. So for those people listening that have been laid off, or have been fired, or have been told you weren't enough, or have been told you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too whatever, stay true to your heart, because if you understand where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, it will serve you well. And you embody that so much, my friend.
And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. And that's it. You see, through failure, I've been invited to speak with incredible people. If I only had success, it only opens with so many doors. The failures has built character. Well, it's given me my edge. It's given me my...
I want to talk about that too, because I think, people look at you and they see this gorgeous person who's got it all, who's been an Olympian, but they're not taking into consideration the journey. And, we see this a lot on social media. You see the perfect picture with the perfect background and the great hair and the perfect makeup, but they don't know the struggle underneath. And I think it's just so important to let people understand we all have our story. We all have our moments of failure and our moments of triumph. And though it might look like you've got it all together, there was struggle in that fight to get you there.
And there's a struggle with this moment that I'm in right now. Just being on this podcast took a lot of changes and maneuvering and driving. And, I just received an award this morning for the most resilient. Well, because the title of the actual award is the most resilient business of the year. And I look at it, and it wasn't woman of the year, biggest business. It is, you had the most grit. You're not giving up. You continue to show up, right? And I lost my car keys this morning. I got paid, and all of my money's gone to bills, right? Like, I have a car payment, I have credit card payments. I am in the journey, and I think that's what's most important. So you're talking about people, who have been laid off recently, or I left a job because it wasn't good for me. I tried to play small, and it wasn't working for me. I applied to over 50
You don't know how to play small, girlfriend.
Girl, what is that, right? Like, I should have already known that. I should have already known that. Yeah, I don't want that journey for me, right? And so when I was, I applied for 50 jobs on LinkedIn, and every single day, I would get at least one. We have received your application, although you are a phenomenal, we decided to move on without you. Okay. So after a month of applying and going through it, not, and, trying to work really hard on getting speaking engagements, but also realizing that I have a mortgage and a car payment and we're trying to adopt. And there's so many things. People don't see that.
No.
They don't see that. You're absolutely right. So no, I am not putting on my social media, all the failures and all the no's that I got, because we're already getting enough no's.
That's right. That's right.
We've already gotten enough no's in the world. I want to show you that through all those no's, I'm still having my glass of rosé. I am still cheersing myself. I am still showing up for myself. I'm showing up for others. It's what you choose. I'm choosing to be this person. But I don't have millions of dollars.
You're also a beacon of hope. And when you can show up with all of your elegance and all of your, passion and fire, that is inspiring someone. And, the reason I built this show was to illustrate what good leadership, good culture, and resilience looks like. And so many stories on this show are stories of resilience. And
I commend you.
Oh,
it is beautiful what you're doing.
I love it. And I love being able to share these stories because people are struggling and they need to find that thread that resonates for them. So, 100 or so guests that I've had, I'm hoping.
Give her flowers. Yes.
I'm hoping that somebody hears a story that talks to them and that makes them feel strength and, power.
Feel seen and empowered.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So are you ready to elevate your leadership style and create an exceptional workplace that stands out from the crowd? I'm here to introduce you to a game-changing resource that will transform the way you lead and shape your company culture. It's time to embrace the power of top-down culture. This practical guide empowers your leadership for lasting success, helping you create a workplace where everyone thrives. Get top-down culture today, and let's reshape the future of leadership together. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your businesses. Who do you work with? Who are your clients? How can we support you?
So, Priscilla Loomis LLC is an umbrella, right? I wanted like a corporate company, and I wanted, the first time that I started my nonprofit, it's my name as well. And someone was like, oh, someone thinks highly of themselves. So again, these things actually happen. But I wanted to name things after myself because my name has power. And I'm trying to build a legacy for those that come after me, right? Like my family, right? My nieces, my nephews. And so Priscilla Loomis LLC first is a cleaning business. And I don't think I'll ever get rid of my cleaning business because it was, I remember this title vividly in one of the articles for New Jersey, I believe it was NewJersey.com. Olympian scrubs toilets to get to her, her goal, right? And my mom was mortified. She was like, I can't believe that. And I said, Mom, there is no shame in my game. I love cleaning. It is therapeutic for me. It is instant gratification. I love to clean and organize. And so flawless cleaning is underneath the Priscilla Loomis LLC umbrella. And so I do residential cleaning. And if you're asking how many employees I have, it is yours truly. And so I'm working on building that. And that's something that I am working on is, getting employees and being able to hire them so that they can feed their families, right? So that's a journey that I'm on right now. And then, of course, I have my speaking business. And that is my baby, and I absolutely love it. And I have the opportunity to really empower the next generation on what the Olympic mindset actually is, especially in this day and age when so many people have social media, they're comparing their situation to others. They are coming from a place of lack. They don't look in the mirror and see incredible in their DNA. They see, I wish I was. And so for me, my passion and my purpose is to inspire, just being exactly who I am and speaking purpose and resilience and courage into other people and letting them know there is excellence in their DNA already. But what are the steps that we need to be taking on your everyday habits to make it possible, right? And one of the biggest things is, are you willing to fail 10,000 times in order to get to your goal and to your Olympics? So I love that. I speak to all education systems, middle school, high schools, colleges. I spoke into corporations, and I get to be myself. I get to come in my authentic self and reach people where they're at. And a lot of times I've never had a Black female speak. Sometimes I've never had an Olympian speak. They've never had a Black female Olympian speak, right? So there's so many things that are incredible there. And then I had to I stopped one of my businesses because I needed to restructure it, and I wanted to help so much that I was burning myself out. I was not being kind to myself, and so now this next venture is a podcast, newsletter, and kind of like evening with portion. And so that is what that third business is going to look like. Because I like having three businesses. I think it's a nice little trifecta, and it has a nice umbrella to it. So again, I'm a work in progress, and I love it.
All are.
So yeah. So as you see me right here, I have CVS lip gloss. I got my cute little bob. I'm authentically me. I'm not perfect. I'm trying, and I'm loving the life that I'm in. And that's something that is where you should start. Yeah. Start exactly where you are and love your journey and own it. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm trying to be an inspiration to others.
Well, you already are. You already are.
I appreciate that. Thank
and
you.
You took away one of my questions, which is, well, sort of, maybe you can answer. The question is, what inspires you?
Everything. Good and bad. Good and bad. The ugly and the beautiful. People have spat in my face, have doubted me, have just tried so hard to break me so many times. That inspires me. People on the other end have loved me and truly just shown up for me, like yourself. You didn't have to share your platform with me. You didn't have to find value in my story. Everything inspires me to be better. How can you not? You know, like, there are people out there that can't advocate for themselves. There are kids that look in the mirror and hate what they see. Yep. There are people who are like me a month ago, desperately seeking a job so that they can provide for their family. There's always going to be negativity. There's always going to be negativity outside. It will never, ever come from me. Yeah. I need to be the light. This is literally my calling. I am solar powered.
I feel the same. I really feel like what you put out into the world will come back in ways that serve you. And there is
in ways that you never expected. Never expected.
And there is so much negativity in the world. Yes. And when you have a choice to react in a positive way and to lift others up, that will serve you every day of the week. Yeah. So I love that you do that. And I love that you inspire that in kids. And as a mom of teenage twins, they need that. They need that big, and they don't have the exposure and the language to teach themselves. So they have to see it in somebody else that they respect. So bravo, my friend.
Thank you.
You already touched on this.
I know. I touched on that.
I'm gonna. No. It's great. One of my questions that I love to ask is, what would you like your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be that Priscilla stood for, and I'm going to say my slogan, my motto. Priscilla stood for excellence, impact, and insane confidence. I think it's a beautiful trifecta of who I am. I am, when I watched Tyler Perry's movie about his mom and Maxine's baby, it is true. I am, my mother's daughter. Yeah. She looks in the mirror and doesn't see beauty. She doesn't see a warrior. But she instilled it in me. And so I could care less, if my, like I always wanted, my name in the Hollywood light. Mm-hmm. If I can encourage one person to keep going, to love who they are, to feel empowered, to keep going, to chase their dream, to be the blueprint, be the first.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. So what is next for you?
Oh, girl, who knows? And that's what I love. I started acting, and that was amazing. And I got to work on a Netflix film. I got to do Disney Plus. That was so much fun. I do not block my blessings. And if there is one thing, if you got nothing from what I'm saying right now, if there's one thing that you're like, I remember from Priscilla, do not block your blessings. Let the world give you everything and know that you are worthy of it. I have a podcast coming out with my husband that I love. I love spending time with my husband. Love it. We chit chat, we talk sports and politics and history and all things. So we have that. I'm in the process of writing a book, but not a boring book. It's very much, there's an author called Tara Schuster, and she wrote the book By Yourself, the Effin' Lilies. And it was just in your face and real and raw. And I reached out to her and I was like, I love this book. This was so good. And so that's what I want. I want people to see who I am authentically. And there's another book by Lovey, and it's called Professional Troublemaker. And I was like, ooh, that didn't speak to my language, right? So, and it's just about her and the culture and fighting and moving forward. And there's so many things that I would love to accomplish, and I won't block my blessings, right? And so obviously I work for, the PR and digital marketing firm, and I have awesome clients. And now we're getting into the sports realm, which I love. And, Philadelphia is opening, hopefully, fingers crossed, having to acquire a professional WNBA team. Trying to be a part of that, right? Yes, like women's sports, women empowerment. That's what I want. So right. Everything that is coming for me, I am ready for. Mm-hmm. I don't know what all of that looks like, but I am ready for blessings. I'm ready for growth. We're building a house. We're trying to plan our honeymoon. Like I've been married for almost 5 years. We have not allowed ourselves to take this honeymoon. So, but it's just about being open to life, its beauty, and all the things. I fully intend to be on the Drew Barrymore show. I fully intend to be on Jennifer Hudson. I fully intend to take these yeses and empower the world and be the first to do what Priscilla Loomis is meant to do.
Well, you are one of a kind, my friend. I am so inspired by you. I have enjoyed this so much. How can people find you?
Thank you. Girl, you can find me. You can literally just Google my name and figure out the best way you want to follow me. But I am most active on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. Perfect. Your girl's working on TikTok because,
Well, it's going to get banned, so don't work too hard.
I know, right? That's another conversation we need to have. But so Instagram, it's Priscilla_Frederick. On LinkedIn, it's Priscilla Loomis. But yeah, Google Priscilla Loomis and see what comes up, and pick your poison, reach out to me. And I'm here to help. I really am here to be an ally. If you message me, I will answer. Well, I will at least do whatever I can to help.
You are so responsive. You've become such a nice friend. I am so happy to have been able to share your story. And please reach out to Priscilla. She is a treasure. And thank you for being on the show. Guys, if you liked what you heard, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a review on Spotify or Apple. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day and lead with heart. Thanks for listening to this episode of Heartbeat for Hire. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or consider leaving a 5-star review and a great rating at Spotify or Apple. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.